Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Lees.
Oh, and I'm Nolan Carney. I guess I'm doing like my own intro.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta do
interesting.
it.
That's
Well,
interesting.
this is this and that. We're gonna be discussing everything going on in figure skating this week. Nolan, you were really on top of all of these small events. The Cactus Classic really
Uh,
delivered. Had
and
music, so exciting.
yeah, it was definitely I feel like the skating season is finally like coming underway. We had like all the events this week. There, next week there's Glacier Falls. There's an event for the junior Grand Prix in Canada. So, I feel like we're starting to get to like a bunch of these like mini competitions. Like we're seeing people again. We're starting to see some of the like top skaters, and we're getting ready for like the senior Bs and the Grand Prix. So it's
We
exciting
always
time.
we always have fun watching Glacier Falls. I don't know. I always just have memories of watching it after taking my melatonin, trying to stay up to watch some of these girls in the last group because it's in California. And one of the more fun summer events, Tammy Gamble always has about 20 kids on the feed. Sometimes Todd Eldridge is texting the whole competition. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Plus, all of the ice dancers are going to Lake Placid this week, and the Olympics are starting on Friday. And they just announced that Celine Dion is supposed to be performing at the opening ceremony. I just watched her documentary last week, so I'm on board for this whole
Yeah.
spectacle of events. Do you like an Olympic opening ceremony?
So here's the thing. I feel like I'm too young to like, even though I'm 23, like I feel like I'm too young to like still have watched all of them. So I
Yeah.
do have plans to watch it this week. And I don't think like I've really ever gotten like super interested in all the Olympics and the sports. Like I feel like I kind of passively watch it, but I feel like for this Olympics, I'm gonna kind of try to take it in. Like I have the NBC calendar like on my like Google calendar right now with like the schedule of every single sporting event to like happen. So, and I think also because I got into tennis like the past year, like I'm interested in more sports that are going on, like more than one sport that's going on at the Olympics. So I think it'll be definitely amped up for me. So I'm super pumped.
Yeah, because usually the gymnasts never march in the opening ceremony, so it's a little strange that you don't get excited. Like Tara Lipinski was in the opening ceremony inaugural, and she was the star of the whole event. I mean, CBS just followed her around the entire time. We talked to Michelle Kwan from home. She looked like she was studying in the library, right?
Wasn't
And I think
conjugating French verbs.
yes, yes. Then she said, yeah. She said that she was going to relax by conjugating French verbs. Yes, the opening ceremony, they're a mixed bag. Okay. It's a festival of nerds. Okay. Yes, we're watching athletes, but like my friend Elkin, he's probably gonna like write, congratulations in every language he knows, right? Like very Mayor Pete about it. We are gonna be
Yeah.
using all of our linguistic abilities and skills. Duolingo should definitely sponsor the Olympics for the opening ceremonies. I mean, this summer, I mean, we have that the shirtless flag bearer from
Oh,
Tonga.
from
Yes,
Tonga, I think,
Tonga,
or
right?
Tongo.
Yes. I probably
Yeah. Or
so
maybe was it Congo or I don't know. I thought it was Congo.
one of the first opening ceremonies I remember was the one in Atlanta. And of all places, Atlanta had the most boring opening ceremony of all time. They had basically like a sheet and people like you ever see where like people make like black figures like by a sheet as though they're acting like some sort of ancient theater. That's what was going on in Atlanta. It was some pantomime garbage. It was not interesting. Okay. It wasn't like all like the thousands of drummers in China. So these can go either way. So hopefully it'll be good. It's supposed to be on the Seine. So hopefully it'll be very beautiful and
Yeah. And I think
interesting.
they're coming in on like boats, I think, right? Is that what
Okay,
I
I like
heard?
that.
I think that's what I read this like a couple months ago. So maybe it's like misstated information, but I thought like it said that people were like coming in on like boats. So I thought that'd be really cool for them.
Yeah. I mean it
I
has to
wonder
because the French are very
how the security would work for this Olympics because Paris, I feel like is such a congested city that it's so hard to like block off certain parts of it. I don't know how they're handling that, but
no. And it's in the summer, so it's not like we could have Papadakis and Scissor on like
no.
but I would like Surya to be in the opening ceremony, if at all possible. I
I
feel like
agree.
she can flip, right? She could flip on the ground. She can flip. Come on, she could be a part of the torch relay
She
towards
could
the.
land it on one leg. Let's do it on one leg. Come
We
on.
could have Surya on plastic ice with a torch, doing a backflip on one leg, handing it off to the person who's going to light the torch.
Yes,
Hand the rope,
absolutely.
hold the torch like a sword fight. I mean, think of all of the characters. You love a French skater.
I love a French skater. All right. Like I have any French
support
skater.
Benoit. You go
You
that far.
know, people hate on Benoit. I'm not one of them. I think he's understated and sometimes misinterpreted.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Listen, yeah. So I'm excited for the opening ceremony. I'm hoping it'll be good. And if not,
And it's like 1:30. I think it starts at 1:30 at NBC said, or 12. It's like when the coverage starts, but not a terrible time for like North America. So
because people watch the event in real time and you get text messages, and then do you get people text you when they watch skating, like randoms, not just us, like other people?
some do. I would say like my real life friends like don't know how crazy I am about this, but I would say like I get like a couple, like not a bunch. So
My friends didn't really know growing up, like a couple had hints of it, but I used to like turn around the VHS tape collection, like when they would come over the house, like because my mom made me feel really uncomfortable about it. She'd be like, "Do your friends know what you're like?"
yeah.
She really laid on the shade, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But because when your real friends find out,
I mean, I think some know, but I just don't think they like realize the extent.
oh yeah, and then you'll get to be really old, and then coworkers will start talking if they know that you're involved in skating. They'll start asking you if you know people. That's always like I have like shields of like I could do a total performance and be like, yeah, they're great. I love them because it's easier. It just gets it. It's
You have like a very very scripted answer of how you respond to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Because you
Yes.
don't want to get like, some people like I tried to explain like during the past Olympics, during the doping, like I tried to explain it to them and it just like it's so nuanced that like it's so difficult to explain to someone like just learning it for the first time. So
Yeah. But I was at my friend's cabin this weekend and there were other friends there and they randomly started like a Will and Grace situation, started debating Tara and Michelle. I was like, I'm so here for this conversation. Like, and very well,
okay.
which aspect of this would you like to discuss? So yeah,
Yes, yes.
I was totally on board. But
Speaking of Michelle Kwan,
yes,
you made a bold claim that Toshawa Andrews is
okay.
giving Michelle Kwan.
Giving her arms. Okay.
Okay.
There's one mean person who then writes, I don't see it. And then there's Enrique who always leaves like a really rude off-color remark, even over DMs. Like he's one of those. So yeah, have you noticed how confident Toshawa is from up? And I sent it to Alyssa Sisney and she goes, oh, I love how she uses her arms.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. And you sent me she posted her like silver moves in the fields, like her video recording. She's a fantastic skater for 50. I think,
listen,
yeah, fantastic.
You need to get on your moves in the field. Listen, you have me and Jenny behind you to support the skating journey, and you're not taking advantage of these resources.
I'm doing my own journey at my own time. So
but I don't think we've ever really addressed your skating together. Is the intensity like a similar level? Is it
no? No. No. It's very passive.
Oh, okay. No, I meant like it's Jenny's intensity. So, like when she talks to you, because she
I would send Jenny a lot of messages like throughout this like last summer when I was like really going when I was going like 3-4 times a week, but like right now it's like once a week maybe, if like maybe twice.
Down. Like you had ready to go. It's time to like dust off the
we'll amp it up again in like mid-July. We'll amp it up in like August. So
listen.
But you also were like, oh, you should pair up with Toshawa Andrews for pair skating. As if I have like any strength to like lift anyone up on the ice.
Okay, first of all, adult pairs, they like barely do lifts. Okay. You could start with maybe adult dance. You don't have to go full Steven and Tara yet. Like, you build up to it in the adult pairs. Maybe she could lift you You never know it. She's talented. Okay. She's like,
We're just gonna we're gonna take it slow and just get back to skating.
okay, so Toshawa, right?
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
listen, wearing Star's dress, but she added a necklace to it. And I thought that she added to this performance. Now, okay, so she competed against an icon in New Jersey. There's a woman named Natalia Kessler who has a skating account on Instagram. And she will come to Montclair and take like 5 to 6 hours of lessons in a day. And she will skate like 8 hours and tell you that like this is what she's doing today. She loves it. There's ice and she goes to every competition. She went to the first solo dance international competition as an adult. There was an adult division there as well. And Natalia was there. She got the jacket and everything. So
Okay.
she competed. And okay, like she had like 4 different programs. Like I struggle to get one program together. Do you understand? Like I'm so
I mean, when you're on the ice for 8
there.
hours a day, like you can do it. You can do
She
it.
used to work with Tatiana Drushina, who's Artur Dmitriev's ex-wife, if you remember that fluff piece where he's throwing the baby up and down. And she, like, they used to work on this number where, like, Natalia had, like, a leather jacket on, and there was a chair, and there was hydroblading, and listen, none of things that I can do. I've never skated in a leather jacket. I've never used the chair, okay, as they did on the Canadian show with Carolyn Taylor, right? And the hydroblade, which I'm not, you know,
Not for everyone.
not for everyone. Listen, she went against Toshawa Andrews. Okay. And the thing is, her Ukrainian drama, like I've never really met a passive Ukrainian. Toshawa just blew her out of the water. Okay. And the
I mean,
thing
she just is so spectacular. I mean, like the basics are very good. You know, she has great carriage, great deportment. Love her.
her Salchow was much better than it was in the last competition. I thought it was like
Yes.
really nice. Her spiral was good, but it's the drama from up here that
It's
she's
the upper body.
that Starr isn't. Okay. And I just think Toshawa is the real star of this family. Okay. And you think about it, she's probably the one that made Starr skate to Whip My Hair and film the whole thing when she went viral in like 2000 and
Yeah.
2009. We've been on a long journey with Starr.
I just find it so interesting. Like, you know, she's so impactful on like her skating. It was just so impactful and just fantastic compared to like, you know, Starr. I find both of them to be stars. I don't think Starr is not as much of a star as you think. I think she's fantastic too.
Yeah, but I'm disappointed in Toshawa at this point.
Oh, why is that?
Because you know, like and I go back and forth, right? There was a point in time where I thought, and I got a lot of heat because people interpreted it a different way, and I didn't mean it like this, but I understand how it came across. But I was thinking that like Starr was doing some like gimmick type stuff to get attention in the beginning. Remember when she sang Whitney Houston? And what I was trying to say is I think she's so good that she doesn't need any of that, right? But now she's done a lot of standard programs, and I think we just need to market her and make her the biggest star on social media. And this is why I'm upset with Toshawa. Abby Lee Miller offered for Starr her legs and feet class.
She did offer the legs and feet
so did
class.
I, right?
I listened to the whole hour of it.
Have you seen any even photo of Abby, fame whore, Lee Miller, working with Starr? Do you not think that she would love to roll her wheelchair into that rink and yell at Starr? Think about it.
Are they near each other? Because I think Abby was saying that it was a Zoom class.
Okay.
So I don't know.
We could get her on Zoom like Paul Wiley, okay? And she could just yell. I mean, she probably is very comfortable. Abby likes to get done up.
Abby would be perfect in an ice rink. She would fit right in.
She would fit right.
You know what? You know who she reminds me of today, honestly? I saw on Instagram a photo from Plushenko of Tarasova.
Yes.
And I was just like, wow, like Abby Lee really is like the Tarasova of like of dance.
Yes.
But like a lot younger. And honored coach, like
we should interview Abby Lee at some point. I mean, she's fascinating, infuriating to listen to.
She's right about some things.
I subscribed to her Patreon for a weekend because I needed to know what she thought about the Dance Moms reunion. You know, that was $9 in 2 hours that I won't get back of my life. But you know,
you had to do what you had to do, you know.
listen, she called those women drunks, and then Christy did get a
Yeah,
DUI.
she did
Oh,
get it.
okay, so
You know, I think there was some truth behind some of the statements that she said. And,
it
you
may
know,
it might not be
what
the
did you
content,
think?
it's delivery, right?
Okay, before we get into the skating, what did you think of the Christy DUI thing? Were you shocked?
No.
I wasn't either.
Because I think rewatching that show as an older person, you can see like Christy was going through something like several seasons that was about way more than what was
The
actually
dancing.
happening on the
Yeah.
show, right? Like it was triggering something deep in her, and those producers were doing it on purpose. So, which is what I mean, it gets into darkness. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that she was okay. Sometimes when they revisit stuff, they're so mad at Abby, but Abby is clearly like the most willing person to do what the producers want her to be. So, like when they say Abby, I think that they should collectively be mad at everyone behind that
Yeah.
vehicle. But
Yeah.
you know, Abby also has points too. Like they all could have left the kids. So
Yeah.
that's
The
also,
kids were, I believe the kids weren't under contract, but the moms were.
they had never put the kids' contract through the court system. But I think, listen, I want to watch all. I think they should all get a reality show now. They're all such like social media stars. I just want
They're
to watch.
so in, all of them are still so interesting till today. Like
They would have to have a good job. Like you know how the Real World. I don't know if you're probably too young for it, but they used to like make them all work at a radio station together or put a TV show. We'd have to find something for them to do. Maybe the kids could like teach dance together and run a dance studio with competing. Like we'd have to find an angle for this and have a reason for them to all be a
and
part.
they're the new dance moms. Did you see did I send it to you
So I didn't watch
the preview?
I didn't watch the trailer yet. I just, you know, I'm loyal to my original girls. I tried to
Yeah.
watch that. I used to watch Dance Moms when I was stretching at night.
Mm-hmm.
Through this whole phase where I was like, I'm gonna watch this. I was like doing like held stretches for a while. And I got to like the season with the new kids and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like the moms were fighting like they had years of history. They had known each other for 5 hours. And so I don't know about the new cast. I'm not sold on it yet, but that's not to say
Let's
that.
see how it pans out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm not into Cheryl Burke empowering the girls. Like that is not what we watch Dance Moms for.
no.
That said, I want Abby helping Starr. Think about all of the Dance Moms viewers. Okay, this is what they would do on Instagram. They would make Abby a collaborator and tag Starr, and also get Adam Rapon there. So you could tag him. So the three of their social media things, those videos would get millions and
Tons of views. Yeah.
Okay. Then we could have Abby consulting. Listen, she's not in the new season. She needs something to do, right? We could help it. And I think there's another person, Toshawa. I saw something from the Dance Moms girls that I thought was like so ridiculous and so on brand.
Okay.
The fact that Dr. Holly and Nia like had a photo of themselves with Kamala Harris immediately.
They were
after,
ready. They knew they were ready.
They were so ready. And I thought, we need Nia to coach Starr on performance. That mother would bring Nia to the opening of an envelope. Okay. Then for music selection, this Euphoria program needs to go.
I think both, I gotta be real. I think they should ditch both programs and go back to last year's short, the Beyonce Alien Superstar, and the Je suis malade from 2 years ago.
Not Je suis malade. I've got something better.
Okay.
Miss Val taught us that if you have a girl of color, you need to have a middle-aged musical artist piece of music. Okay, a piece of music from a middle-aged musical artist, have them perform it, and then that person will retweet you when people tweet at them so that they see it, and then there will be BuzzFeed articles about it, and it will go viral. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to do hashtag Black Girl Magic, hashtag make Starr a star, hashtag lean into whatever. You want to do Janet Jackson? She doesn't have a lot going on, okay?
For the three?
What about, like, do you think we could get Mariah with, like, the Lambs? That might be a stretch. Like, Janet, I think will retweet. Like, that's the slam dunk. Listen, you have to play your cards right, okay? You have to think about, can we get a retweet? Does Miss Val have to call in favors? Whatever she does, but we need to get these people to get the skaters so that she's not competing at the Cactus Classic, right? I mean,
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I mean, you know, we're only doing up to triple loop.
okay,
We got no Grand Prix because we didn't do very well last year on the Grand Prix. We're fighting for that Skate America spot.
I'm
So
giving
I
it
think
to her.
I think she's gotta amp it up a little bit. I think we
I'm
need the flip. We need the flip.
Yeah, but what if she was playing it so that she was consistent first and then she's going to add
Yeah,
the
no, I think it's good what she did because, you know, went out in there, did a clean free,
yeah.
had to step out on the triple and the short. But I wonder what her next competition's going to be. I would assume probably Cranberry Cup maybe, or maybe like another domestic event like in a couple weeks. But I don't think she'll be at Glacier Falls next week. But
I'm on board with her going to Skate America. I'm
I
not getting
am too. I think it's between her and then like a couple of the juniors that moved up. So
Did
maybe Claire Seal. What?
Mia Kalin move up?
She is still junior, but she was at that junior cup last week and bombed.
Okay.
Like I think she was like 12th or something. Now for her, I'm gonna be honest. I think they should ditch the quad sow
Yes.
and do 2 quad toes.
Which she used to do.
Yeah, I don't know why they are emphasizing this quad sow so much because she tried it all last year, never did it, never got it out, and then tried it this year, and it's always been a 2 carat every time.
Yeah. And she was a lot slower going into it, which made me think that she was more nervous and trying to control that edge, which doesn't
Oh,
help the rotation at the end of the day, but it makes the takeoff more stable. But what I just found a little bit jarring about the performance is she's always been really criticized for her skating skills and for her musicality. And the skating
yeah.
skills were really lacking, especially because she has these very long limbs and they try to extend them, right? So she doesn't have the problem that we're going to talk about with a lot of the Korean girls, but she
Yeah.
doesn't cover a lot of ice. And because she
It's
has the
very
long
slow.
limbs, it's really glaring and she was really slow, especially going in. And then the music does not bother her at all. I mean, anything could be playing. I feel like she's worn this costume every season, whether she has a costume or not. Like we've
It
seen
wasn't
this,
even a costume. It was leggings and like a black shirt.
but like she's giving like red gloves with Valyeva typically, right?
Yes.
Like a hint
Yeah.
of red, like she's doing Bolero. Okay. And
I just don't have a lot to say on her. I mean, it was good for her. Like she did a clean short, only
she's
one mistake in the long.
she's not
Gut dinged.
typical figure skater personality that we're used to, right? Like she's not
She's a
effervescent.
nice girl. Like I feel like she's a nice girl, does her job, but I don't think that she has the star quality to be anything above 10th place at nationals ever.
Well, the problem is that she doesn't really have any choreography or transitions in this program, especially in the second half. And they we used to watch some of her training sessions before, and they would spend so much time on the 2 quads. But in the second half of the program, when she gets to the flip and the Lutz, it actually is more nerve-wracking than in the beginning of the program. She can often lose her timing on her triple Lutz, and it just it really looks like a jump drill in the second half of the
Yeah.
program. Like, I hope they didn't pay a choreographer a lot of money for that because there's nothing there. And they really have to amp it up if she's going to be relevant. So,
And the triple flip, you know, back from last competition and then even last year, it's almost like an automatic fall or mess up every time. You know, she fell twice last week, fell a couple times at nationals on it. And then even here, like you saw the forward landing, like on the flip, like kind of holding on to her edge really hard, but just not a good jump for her. Very dicey.
yeah, they've stayed with her coach for a long time. And I have always felt like they needed to bring other voices in. He clearly has a very strong point of view. I just don't know that he's led her in the right direction with her skating and the development at this time. She was known as a jumper, but the rest hasn't really developed. And as she gets taller, it's harder for her to rotate these jumps, and they haven't necessarily become more consistent. So
Yeah,
It's
I will say, I mean, the quad toe is very impressive, like the quad toe
yeah.
double axel, like very impressive. It's great that, she's going for it and trying that, but I just hope that and I think she has made a little bit of strides skating skill wise. It's not like great, but it needs to be pushed more and more. Like I would say at least 50% of their day needs to be focused on that.
And it will make the jumps easier. The other, yeah, they often do the triple axel in the short, and it's under as well.
Never rotated.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those jumps that's a waste of time. At a certain
Yeah.
point, I don't see her really being a strong triple axel skater. She has a great quad toe, and I think doing two and then working on the other areas of her skating would be more beneficial at this point. But
Yeah.
I don't know, because you hope that she can get consistent and then build on things, but it looks like she gets the quad toe, then she's falling on the quad sow, and then we don't do the flip or the lut. You kind of have to structure the day so that
It's
not everything is
almost
apart.
it's almost as if they don't have a structure of what they like. It's very anti-Frank Carroll in a way, where I feel like they're always like switching out the jumps and they don't just like pick something, stick with it, and work through it the whole season. Because I feel like if they did that, they'd have a bit more time to spend on the other things because you don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to add the quad sow in here, or am I going to do the triple axel in the short, or like, is the flip here, is the loop there? Like, I think just having that structure would be so much more beneficial for her to focus on all areas of her skating and have more clean, consistent performances.
Yeah.
But
Well, who does work on her skating skills?
our girl, my girl now.
I've been seeing your girl Brady Tennell on a daily basis for a couple of weeks now because I switched rinks for the summer because of our camp schedule. Like they condense. Everybody is on like the same freestyles in the morning. And I can't describe this enough, but if you have several ice dance teams coming at you like slow freight trains, it's unnerving. Okay. You're not going to get a lot done in the summer. It's just, so I switched rinks and she's there doing all the Benoit drills. Remember when we saw like the bands and the hockey?
The video.
Okay, she's really fast in person, like really fast, like, way faster than Hackensack. Okay, which is she's on such like a random session because it'll be like me, a couple other adults, an adult in a helmet, some very young girls, a couple other kids like at moderate level, and like Brady full on running her her Nessun Dorma free skate, like full on doing
and
all
it's so good.
She looks good. She looks
the
good.
Jumps look super clean.
She spends though like a full session a lot of days on her skating skills with like doing her turns and her shoulders with the Benoit hockey stick. Like those things are weapons. Okay. Like when Brady is skating by with a hockey stick, you move. Okay. Like
I've decided I think Brady Tennell could make the world team this year.
if she stays healthy, I think it's possible. I think
it's so in the air with all the three, with like the five, with the three that I feel are really up for grabs because I think these girls are inconsistent and we don't know what's going to happen. Our girl Ava Ziegler, who potentially maybe not in the best health.
Well, she's had a nagging hip issue for a long time.
Yeah. Amber Glenn, who could do a triple axel and then pop every jump after that.
Yeah.
And then Alyssa Liu, who I feel like is not, I feel like she could be great, but I also feel like from the videos that we have seen, I'm not 100% bought in yet. And especially when she's going to UCLA, like pulling a Michelle Kwan situation, like I don't have the best feelings for her.
I am really intrigued what Alyssa's going to do. Remember they told us that she was going to do some Zoom lessons and there was going to be a coach in person. I'm still confused about how serious she is, and I want to see her, obviously, at a competition to kind of evaluate. Alyssa's super talented, so I think that
Very
she can
talented.
get up
She could totally do it.
She can go up through triple Lutz probably with a couple months of training, right? Like, no problem. How rotated the jumps will be, how consistent, I think is kind of the thing. Also, like how big she's going to skate, I think is always something that she was getting better right before she stopped, right? Like her skating skills are really improving. Obviously, you take time off, you have to build that back. But
Yeah.
I am interested to see how motivated she is. I think how happy she is on the ice is going to play a big part in this. She's obviously very, very headstrong. So I wouldn't count her out. I actually wouldn't count Alyssa Liu out, even if she doesn't have a good fall. But like, she's one of those people that could show up at nationals a lot better.
Yeah. Remember the COVID year when
Yeah.
she was doing like all doubles and like
Yeah.
the competition? We really were like, oh. And then
Yes.
nationals,
I think
she's like
Great America.
second. She's second in the short program, and then was like fourth overall. Like I think like a point out of Karen Chen or something. Like,
And I'll be curious how US figure skating judges her, because certain people get more lenient calls than others. She's still Alyssa Liu world medalist.
yeah, world medalist, national champion.
I think if she does 2 clean programs at nationals,
she's going to worlds. Yeah.
She'll at least be very up there. I think Brady could potentially, if Brady's healthy, I think she could really move up in the standings. I mean, the thing is that it looks like she's trying to jump higher to try to make sure that she gets her jumps
The
around.
rotation. Yeah.
She works on a lot of drills for her different combos. And I would say her jumps look really clean, especially through triple loop. And then her Lutz is pretty good. And it's going to be interesting to see what she can pull out, especially this season. And I would say Lindsay, we know she spent time in Canada working with Sandra David Wilson. With her, it's always going to be the jumps. And I know that she's working with Roman Serov, who is a good jump coach. I wish she had worked with him 2 years earlier. That's Roman's own damn fault.
Yeah.
You know that Roman made a comment about her car crash music back in the day.
And you know what? It was a great program.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. It was
Benoit special.
It's a Benoit special, but you know Roman said something like, yeah.
One thing about Brady.
Oh yeah, what about Brady?
Sorry, one thing about Brady before we move on is the thing that I'm gonna notice, I want to watch, is her short program. I think is gonna be the more important for her scoring wise this year, because in the free, we're doing a triple loop double axel and then double axel triple toe. So we're not doing a triple triple in the free skate. But the base value is the same. So it doesn't really matter. But the practice of doing the triple triple in both programs will help you in the short. So I'm wondering how the short triple triple will pan out throughout the season, if it'll be a little bit tighter, because I think she could get dinged a lot more there and kind of be at a deficit when compared to like other people who have triple triples in both programs.
Yeah, but I kind of like when you don't do the triple triple in the free if you know it's going to be a problem, and then you just know the comeback.
I agree, but then I'm also thinking like you're getting extra practice of the jump and the combination. I'm not saying she should put it in.
She's competing against in the US, right? Like
that's true. She's you know what? She's competing against a Lindsay Thorngren triple, and Ava Ziegler with her technique.
Even
Alyssa Liu
triple can be
a little under sometimes.
Yeah.
And I also wonder if Amber Glenn will put the triple axel in the short.
I think she needs to.
I think it'd be good.
I wasn't overly confident about Amber after listening to Paulina's interview. And maybe it was just because of the way the questions were asked, but it just sounded like they focused a lot on you have a problem with competing, right? Like you have a problem. And rather than like, you're awesome, what are you going to do differently? I didn't feel like they had like a handle on the situation. Like, you know what? You know how they say in politics, the path to victory? I didn't know what the path to victory was for Amber Glenn, but like we knew that Biden was old, right? Like we knew Biden. We knew Amber had a problem with competing. I'm not sensing what the path to victory is.
Okay, so I have 2 thoughts.
Okay.
So the first thing is with the Paulina interview, you know, I felt like it literally started at the beginning from like when they had finished their previous interview before the Olympic trial, like the Olympic nationals, and just kind of talked about what went wrong from there. And then also, remember after Worlds, she gave an interview to, I think it was Golden Skate, and they talked about like the problems that she had like at Worlds, like what caused it and like what she was going to do moving forward. So I feel like it's got to be tough for her because every interview you're giving, you're saying like, oh yeah, like I have a problem like focusing and like getting it together and like doing the clean skate. It kind of becomes like a huge like Sasha Cohen thing where it's just like reiterated one after another.
Yes.
And
It's
that's got to become like,
and that damn skill on the uneven bars, the culmination. The thing here is they really need to rebrand Amber. They should invite some gay from USA Today, get Nick McCarville there on site in Colorado Springs, have him watch her train the triple axel. He can write about how long, how good her triple axel is. It would be a different feature for him than just writing about the next athlete that came out, which is like boiler template language at this point. So I think that he could, follow her. Like Mirai, they follow Mirai working on the triple axel. Well, get Amber there. You get Mirai over Zoom. Mirai might have a new surprise baby for you. You never know.
yeah,
She's full of surprises lately. And I think that we could get Amber like some attention. Let's get it going.
she did look good. This week also at Sun Valley, we saw some clips of that. She did a triple axel. I think it was like at night under lights, like impressive.
We like this. We like that
I think she's looking good, but she also looked good last year and we saw what happened. So
and then, well, last summer she was apparently looking really good, and then she had the collision with Sonia Hilmer, and she broke her face. Like we really forgot that going into Skate America. Like Amber Glenn broke her face, right? Like,
I think we were a little too harsh on Amber Glenn at Skate America.
I think the thing is like Colorado really kept that under wraps. And remember, then Sonia Hilmer went to the competition, and suddenly like none of the coaches there could be bothered to go with her.
Yeah, no one went with her. To Nebelhorn.
You think Tammy was mad at Sonia Hilmer because like maybe she cracked Amber and Amber broke her face? Like
I think that could have played a part of it.
Here's the thing. I feel like Sonia got blamed for that accident.
Do you know what I was gonna say?
Both seem like very artsy girls. Like I could put it either way. Whose fault it was? It takes two to tango, right? It's
Jenny and I were watching the practices at US Nationals like this past year. And I remember she texted me and she said this exact same thing. She was like, Nolan, I've been like watching Amber's like practices and she doesn't really seem aware of her surroundings like at all, like on the practice. Like I think I'm not putting the blame on Amber, but just saying like, some skaters are a little bit like in their own world, like when they're skating and might not be observant.
Like Letitia Hubert, who was legendary. And
legendary.
Then she crashed into Midori Ito. She was scary on the Cape, according to Jenny. So
yes. She's Brady Tennell speed, all right? Like it's Brady Tennell speed.
Oh my God. So, oh my God, this mother was there. And she was like asking like Brady and I if we knew each other. And I was like, yes. And I'm just like, oh, this poor girl. By the way, all I could think about was like that I once criticized her hair. Her hair looks way better. Okay. I should have said it.
Good job, Brady.
My Catholic guilt is like way better. Okay. She's really had to go up. You know what? She had like hot pink tights on the other day. And I was like, do I need hot pink tights or is that going too far? I already have red, like
I think red's good.
I have purple, I have red. I tried to recreate the Gorgeous Sewer tights. It didn't come out exactly the way I wanted, but I like a good tight game. Okay. Like,
yeah. And then some other, there's a little other notable things that happen. Maddie Skizis, Skate Detroit, pretty good clean short, minus double loop. And then for pairs, Gabby Izzo is pairing up with someone from Austria.
Wait,
and
pause. Gabby Daleman showed us a triple Lutz, and she's going to be competing this year, Queen of the North. You know what? Never count her out in Canada because she has more Tanya Harding talent than any of those.
The Canadians don't like her, and I don't get it.
Listen, we need a reality show on Canadian skating, and we need her. Okay. Sandra Bezic can produce the whole thing. Okay. Deanna and Max. Inspiring story about how old Deanna is, how great she looks. Okay. We could have Deanna like injecting her own Botox into her face. We need Roman Sadovsky. Okay. Obviously,
every day.
He has camera experience. Piper has the cancer story and the comeback, and Paul Poirier. we need Gabby Daleman. Okay, we need to know what she's up to, how her triple toe. That triple Lutz is
Wait,
so scary.
Dave, do you mind if we pause for 1 second?
Yes.
First off, just want to say I apologize to everyone. We had nothing shady. Literally, all I had to do was switch Wi-Fi because I switched rooms.
It's all right. It's all right.
And then I had to grab my water bottle. Nothing was said. Gabby Daleman, triple Lutz, beautiful. We're back.
Her triple Lutz scares me.
Oh, of course, because of the leg wrap.
Not just the leg wrap. She like the timing on it is not as good.
It's jerky. Like she kind of like when she goes into it, you see like she kind of like it's kind of like the arms are wild. Like it's just a little.
Listen,
she kind of picks hard into it. Like
she's a toe sal double axel girl. Like those are her.
Not a loop either.
No, because it's like she's better over the left side than over the right.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm a fan. Okay.
Oh, we're fans. We're fans of Gabby Daleman. All right.
Listen, we once did an interview with Gabby Daleman. She wore her Olympic gold medal and her tiara at the same time. All right. So, like, fan. Okay.
Yes.
She's in it to win it. It's fine. All right. Yeah. I feel good about her comeback because Canada needs some. All right. They had no depth. They had no women at the nationals. And you know what? Gabby Daleman wasn't at Canadian nationals, and neither were any.
Missed it.
No, right? So
no one in the audience was.
No one in the audience was even there. So I think they need her back. All right.
Yeah.
Your girl
Gabby Izzo is skating with, I don't know who she's skating with. I didn't write the name down. I'm not gonna lie. No. She hasn't competed yet. It's not yet. Not important. For Austria, and then Brooke McIntosh, who was with Ben, who's now with Fiona, who they also skated this week very poorly. Yeah. Is competing with someone for Spain. So we have two new North American girls, both actually used to be representing Canada for a minute, going to European countries.
This is like in gymnastics. In gymnastics, they're now celebrating that 3 Filipino girls used to be American, right? For gymnastics, the gymnasts were very upset about this like 4 years ago. Now they've come around.
Well, there was a scandal on Twitter about it the other day. People were still upset.
I mean,
they wouldn't last a day in skating, is what I said.
Not a day. Okay.
Not a day in ice dancing.
I mean, is Brooke as Spanish as Millie Murdoch? I mean, who's blonder, right? Like, what is happening here?
I want to know where the Spanish connection is for Brooke. That's what I want to know.
As far as Gabby Izzo goes, she has the personality of a pear girl.
Very intense.
She's a little tall, but she was tall. And she didn't get the triple twist with the last partner. That was kind of the hang up. So I am curious to see whether she can get the triple twist with this partner. So I texted Bruno. Okay. And I put his feet to the fire about Balazs and Audrey. And he says they're going to be good.
Okay. Where are they competing?
How's the triple twist? Right? Like that is, he's like, it's big. But then another text came, just needs more time for the catch. So you know what?
Okay, but they can do the triple. You know, they can do the triple.
I was like, Bruno, I am not like, I'm not just like blown away and fooled by your laugh. Okay, like do
you think we'll see them at Glacier Falls this week?
No, they are going to do
two.
No, they're going to do one of those like Quebecois competitions in the summer that Megan used to do. Okay. I'm sure.
But are they going to get an international? Like, are they going to get Skate America? They have to get Skate America. We have to give it to them.
Yes, but like
no one else deserves it.
Does Autumn Classic still exist?
Oh yeah, they can go there.
You know where they can go? Mid-Atlantics in New York.
Or Cranberry Cup. Is that a pair event this year?
Who knows? I mean, you know what?
Any North American Cup.
The Cranberry Cup really had a great field the last Olympic season, and it's just been nothing the last.
So
year.
I think it'll be a little bit better this year because it's an actual senior B this year.
Yes, because last year they had no like live feed of the event.
Yeah, I hope they have one this year.
Yeah.
So, not holding my breath.
Like, we didn't see Lindsay last year when she compete against Ava at Cranberry, and we didn't get to watch them.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
All right, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there, did it make a sound? I don't know. That's
and then Luna Hendricks
All right.
announced her program,
All
both
right.
programs.
This is getting cringy. It's really getting cringy for me. Like, first of all, she's like, I'm trying a new style, jazz. And immediately I'm just thinking Liza Minnelli in my head. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, so we're old like Liza. And then she's skating to a cover of Cher. Now, Cher Believe on her own would have been campy, and we could have enjoyed it in our own niche sport way. The sleepy cover of Cher's Believe. Listen, we have offered this girl advice. We have recommended Raphael. We have recommended like
Kalin.
Shakin and Raphael and the glow up.
Some people are inherently tacky and won't change. And she is one of them.
She, like, you know, she's going to give you a good short. How many carrots are you going to see in the long to the cover of Cher's Believe, right? Like, you know what's happening. I think her best days have probably come and gone, although she could pull out another European title because she's against Kubanova, and it's pretty much the two of them, right? But
Yeah.
I don't see this being her most competitive season. And listen, I could be proven wrong, but
I also think she might be motivated more this year after a disappointing world. So maybe she will amp it up. I mean, when you were first in the short program and then you bombed the long and dropped to like 5th or 4th, I think. I mean, that definitely is like that can be motivating for some people, depending on how you react to it.
So Kimmy Pond is coming for her.
She is so coming for her.
Like,
Kimmy Do you see her Instagram every day? Like
she's
4 or 5 sessions a day.
You know, maybe not advisable, right? But she's coming. So yeah. But all right, we have to talk about skating mothers and really parents in general, because it's the Olympics. And I think I watched the Simone Biles documentary. And then I went in a rabbit hole on TSL Live and I made everybody watch the original Simone Beyond the Routine together. I believe that Simone is not actually the real star here. And I know that people are going to be like, how dare you say this? No.
Dave said it. I didn't say it this time, guys.
The real star is Nellie Biles. Let me tell you. Nellie is like the Kris Jenner of gymnastics. She makes them set goals for the year, and you have to achieve your goals. Okay? She makes you go after them. You have to
Dave.
To your goal. What?
You just said she makes them set goals and then have to achieve their goals.
Yes, like you can't just say
as if this is like groundbreaking like concept.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. Okay, how many people break New Year's resolutions?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Right?
Fair.
So is like making Simone write down that she wants to be top 3 at US Classic. Well, then she has to work and commit to achieving that. Okay, and she needs to show up. You can't just be pulling out of competitions. All right, Nolan, you can't just say that you're going to skate to the Brady music and then not skate for 6 to 8 months. Okay, like we need you to get your behind to the rink. Okay, if you're going to be the like imitating Gia Shin, all right, you got to be getting to the rink. Gia's mother would drag you. Okay, so and I just always think of David Wilson. God bless him.
We miss him. We miss him. Not a great comment, but
he had a couple comments in that interview that will like still show up from time to time, but like
they're all forever in your head.
They're forever in my head. They weren't untrue, but it was perhaps inappropriate, right? Because he goes, you know, with the Asian skaters, and he said it in this voice, you know, with the Asian skaters, the mom is really the coach. You know, he wasn't wrong, as we saw the documentary of Yuna's mother writing down every jump that she did in practice. But like, I think Jenny's mom was also the coach for time to time.
It's universal. For all skaters.
I think in some cultures, you know, more dominant.
But then you have some skating dads.
Listen,
some.
Nellie didn't go to one competition in Simone's life. and she got the twisties. Okay, I'm just saying there is a common denominator here. Also, remember, there's that whole theory that how your parent is feeling, that the athlete can do it, especially if they're in a confined space. Now, this is some like voodoo energy, whatever. But remember, Dorothy Hamill's neurotic mother, what was she doing when Dorothy was in the Olympics? She was in the hotel room chain smoking and drinking. Okay. Dorothy didn't have to worry about her nervous mother. She skated great. Okay.
Yes.
Nastia's neurotic mother was walking around Beijing when she won. All right. So we need Nellie there to empower.
But not there.
Nellie is confident. Okay. Nellie watches and she is making Simone. She is willing her to hit. She's going to braid her hair like they showed us in Simone Biles Rising. She's going to win. All right. And if Nellie is there, Nellie is in that Manjaro commercial. She doesn't even take it. All right. She's making it. She has endorsements for herself. And I have to say, I would like her to look after some of these Korean girls because we need her. Listen, if I had Nellie as my mother, I would not have had to become an adult skater. Okay. We would have we would have been fine. All right. So your girl, Gia Shin. Now, also talking, David Wilson. I had this thing last year.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like with the Japanese ladies, there are so many of them. We can't know all of them and what their personalities are. And I feel like sometimes David gives every Japanese girl who's like a young junior the cast-off music that Mai Mihara turned down that year, right? Like they're going to wear pastels. They're going to skate to something light and bright and airy, right? Well, this year, he gives Gia the same music he gave Yuna. We're doing Adios No Nino, but at least a better version. It wasn't the accordion version. He used the piano Sandra version. So I was happy about this.
Can I just say, I think it might be the best Adios No Nino anyone's ever done.
No.
It's beautiful. It's so good. It's the better program. It's the better program.
Yes, it's the better program. And I like it for her. And the tango helps, cover some of the leg extension issues that we're going to have to talk about. Also, I was happy. Do you remember when Yuna did Adios No Nino and she came out in this gorgeous black dress and it was stunning and it made people happy. And then for the Olympics, she had this ugly black and purple. We didn't win in this dress, right? We won in the all black dress that we wore at the first international competition that she did that year, like Zagreb or whatever it was. Remember, which maybe it wasn't Zagreb. It was some event.
One of those events. Yeah.
Okay. Some random event that they hold in an old
God knows where.
Yes. All right. And I thought that this dress looked good. As long as she doesn't go for the black and purple, I think we're all good on this. Now, all right. Gia, you're in charge of the Mao Shimada and Gia age situation. Gia can go to the Olympics, Mao Shimada, right?
Gia is 16, Mao is 15. So Gia will be eligible next year for the Olympics.
Already having all of the growth spurt, and because Gia has better jump technique, I feel a lot better about this. Because Mao Shimada's jump, she goes for that triple axel and the quad, and they are both very scary. Also, I'm much happier about her music selection and choreographer. She's not doing the Mao Shimada defying gravity. Usually I'm Team Mao.
You can just tell how you can tell the difference between David Wilson and Caitlin Weaver when you are having your skater choose a program and a choreographer. You can tell that the level of intelligence going into one versus the other.
But I love how shameless everyone in Ice Dance is, because Caitlin Weaver is running and laughing to the bank.
Yes.
Everyone who is involved in a small country, right? So Kilyakov, who's playing the Israeli game, Igor and Kristen, who, have Azerbaijan, but they have a junior team that's not very good. Then they have, anyone who's, like Melissa and Dennis. Although they didn't bring in Weaver, but she has been in a lot of other countries. She worked with Diana and Gleb last year before Worlds, right? Everybody hires Caitlin Weaver because they think that they're theoretically going to get some sort of pull for the ISU. They also hire Albert Ukar for the same reason. So you try to get your ISU officials on your side.
Yeah.
Also has a wife who's a Georgian judge. So everybody is like shamelessly wheeling and dealing in ice dance. But if everybody is trying to woo the same officials, are they really able to help anyone? Like, are they really able to like throw you an extra point?
Yeah, who are they gonna help? Like when you have like 50 teams that you're all are wooing you.
You know what? It turned Caitlin Weaver into a noted choreographer. So,
And I will say some of her stuff was good last year. Some of the
which
stuff that she did for some of the younger junior girls that went to junior worlds, like not the top ones, but some of the bottom, like lower level girls, they were pretty good programs.
I saw her do a Billie Eilish program with a girl once that I liked, and I thought it suited the girl well.
She
Defy
doesn't,
Gravity.
she misses sometimes, but it's okay for the most part.
I thought Defy Gravity was a big mess.
Yeah, that
Maybe
was a big
I really
miss.
like Mal. I really like. There's a lot to do with that kind of a skater, but they always go for like an upbeat program with Mal's
For the
short
short.
that are never as good as the long. So
Yeah. I'm so obsessed with the short program though.
all right, the
Just
double axel to
everything,
the jump on the
the
beat on
jump
the music,
on the stag
right?
jump, it was so good.
On the music. All right. It was her triple triple. It's bigger than it was last year. I think it's stunning. Okay. I really like the program. I think she could be on par, like on track to really challenge for an Olympic medal next
I
year.
think so for sure. For
Listen,
sure.
Cowrie's not getting any younger. Just hang on for 2 years, right? For a year and a half,
Yeah.
right? We're not going to see Cowrie add any new jumps. You know it.
No. I don't think we're gonna see Gia add any new ones either. But I think the quality of Gia's jumps compared to Cowrie's are very
Does she work a
apparent.
quad toe?
On a what quad toe?
Yeah. Does she work a quad toe?
I don't think so. She is a little bit of a slow twitch, just a little bit.
Yeah, but she's very, very good.
Yeah.
The triple lutz, triple toe. Okay, so if we're not going to add a jump for the Olympics,
I think the program layout's set, really, of what she's gonna do.
okay, I think she could join me in batshit crazy Pilates with Karen Cortland. All right, this
Okay.
turn to tell you she needs. She needs to do Pilates with leg weights on because we need to
Okay.
work leg extension. The twins, they don't have a prayer. Okay, like it's too late.
No.
Can't fix it. The one thing she could do Swan Lake without looking like she ever took a ballet class. With Gia, it's like not big fixes for her leg extension.
I thought
And
the spiral wasn't too bad.
no, ankle weights, Karen Cortland, leg kicks, side kicks, like back. We can do this, okay? She could do some exercises for her knee stabilizers, and Gia can get nice leg extension, better than she
Yeah.
has. All right, we can work on this. This is not a lost cause, and it'll make her look more senior. We need to get that girl batshit crazy Pilates ankle weights. Okay, it's nothing that I don't do, so I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting something that I wouldn't do myself. In fact, I do it daily. So I think
Yeah.
it'll help her legs. I'm always trying to work on the turnout of my foot after my separated ankles because it wrecks your glutes. She can do it.
Yeah. Um,
So free to Daphne and Chloe. Do you have PTSD as a viewer from the Gracie Gold season where she threw the jacket at Frank? Like this music, there are parts that I really remember Gracie's program falling apart during.
so okay, I have a lot of notes on this. First off, so Gracie Gold also had a white dress the first time she did this program too in Japan.
Yes.
And it looks very similar. I don't like the dress, by the way. I'm not a fan of the dress.
The skirt was not it for me. The top was
Yeah.
nice. I
didn't like any part of it, but
hey, well, I did, but it's okay. All right.
I think it honestly appears like it's a Costner program put on her a little bit.
Right.
And I'm going to be a little bit of a Jonathan right here right now.
Oh,
A lot of skaters use the exact same cut of this music. Like Gracie Gold, very similar cut. Sarah Hughes, very similar cut. And it's a 17-minute long song. And I think we could have made Lori Nickel, maybe we could have like picked like something else. Like we picked maybe like a different 2-minute phase of the song instead of like the same like 5 first minutes of the song. Like
okay. So Lori, so that's Lenore who edits her music. All right.
Lenore, we could have done a little better.
when Unicam's Adios No Nino first came out, my friend Jamie goes, "Oh, David gave me the same exact cut for my junior free dance." Like, you know what? Incredible. All right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
yes, okay. Is it the same as the Gracie Gold edit? Like exact? Because
It's very close. Very close.
I don't think the music is for her.
I don't hate it. It's not my favorite, but I think it's good for her to be pushed a little bit. And I think she needs to have something that might be a little bit uncomfortable before. But also, can I just say, I think Lori Nickel kind of misses sometimes for skaters.
We all miss sometimes. Okay.
She's great, but I think sometimes she's a little bit of a miss. And I think this one might be a little bit of a miss, but I think also like Gia's kind of been in that same lyrical Ina Bauer on the big note style. They got to switch it up a little bit.
In Lori's defense, when she misses, it's like a little bit of a miss, right? It's not.
This isn't an atrocity.
This is not Candyman, right? Level
no,
of
no,
right? Like, let's give Lori some credit, right?
No,
like,
I do like it. I do like it still.
Like, and some of it could be the skater, right? I mean, the Beatles program that Michelle Kwan did might not have been all Lori's fault. Like, Michelle maybe was distracted. I think for this, I wonder if Adios No Nino should be her long. Just like go full on copying Yuna. And I don't know, maybe she could go back to the Birdie program if this doesn't.
I say do this until the Grand Prix final.
Yeah.
And then reevaluate after that. And I also think go back to David Wilson for both programs for the Olympics.
All right. I mean, bold statement. I think we need to figure out what we're doing. I thought that her weaknesses were less hidden in this program just because some of the transitions they might have taken out. Also, I just think her extension, the unicamo, her spin positions could really improve. The unicamo is not great. And then her posture on the catch foot, she's going to lose points there. And she could really, if she's going to compete against Cowrie, maybe Yelim Kim, Luna, she could gain some points on them in certain areas, especially because she's a little bit shorter than they are. So to make herself look more powerful, we don't know how much she's going to grow between now and next year, but these are all things. Also, how many Lutzes is she doing in that program?
2.
That edge.
Oh, no. That edge is improved. That edge is improved. You look at that edge. I will pull up videos of the practices. That Lutz edge is so much better than it was.
I mean,
I will show you the receipts.
The triple flip into the double axel was
a triple
questionable.
Triple flip, double axel. Nice inside edge.
I would like a documentary about the mom who's raising the twins. Okay. We need to know about this mother. Okay. Because they're both at a high level. They're both trying triple axels. They both have leg extension issues. And they both really jump with their arms a lot. So UJ did Swan Lake. She tried.
I have to say, I texted you this. I said, I didn't think it was that bad. It's not like the best vehicle for her. I will say that, but
it wasn't good.
Don't think it was terrible. I wouldn't get rid of the program.
If you gave Swan Lake to a roller skater who had never taken ballet, it would look something like this, right? Like it's all right. It had its moment. Yu Sung, in the beginning, I thought that she actually looked stronger. They both have work to do.
I wouldn't say either one of them are going to be a contender this year. I think last year they got a little bit lucky because the field was a little bit more abysmal.
Yeah.
I think the field will be amped up a little bit this year in the juniors.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be hard. Also, we saw Luca Brassard on
Oh, he looks good.
Instagram. He looks good. And he's competed in some small competitions that we haven't seen. So I
Yeah.
think he could be in the mix for some assignments this year. Also, we had some of the junior men last week, so they're deciding those. Lake Placid is coming up in a matter of days, and it's going to be Annabelle and Jeffrey Chen competing. They're favored to get Skate America. And think about it, it'll be like Battle of the Nepo Babies if Annabelle gets it with Diana. And it was speculated that Annabelle married her last partner. And remember, Diana married her partner. If Annabelle married Igor Eremenko and got a quickie divorce, that would be iconic, right?
Is Diana
All I
going
know
to
is
be
that it
at?
was Jeffrey's birthday the other day, and she was like, she wrote some like post to him, like, you mean so much to me, right? It was like almost identical to what she wrote to Igor Eremenko less than 6 months ago. He's
They've known
gone.
each other for like 3 months, maybe.
Yeah. And he's, having a save sport issue that has continued. So, there's got a lot of rumors and innuendo on them, but, all publicity is good publicity in ice dance,
Yeah.
apparently. So there's a lot of buzz around them. But listen, it's going to be an interesting competition. And we're finally going to see Brooke Tufts against Lucas Appel and Amal because when Brooke competed in Dallas, they were at a different competition in Florida. And then Brooke got
I was
really,
there.
really high score. So
Yeah.
usually Brooke, the last couple of summers, has had to like claw back. So it's a little bit different that she's coming in with the high score now, because usually they have to like light Brooke's feet to the fire a little bit. If she gets a little confident, then they have to like push her a bit. So I'll be curious.
I
to
think
see.
there's a gap a bit this year between the two. So
Listen, we won't know until they all compete against each
yeah.
other. So yeah. All right. How are you feeling about Simone? Is she going to get it done this week? Like,
I think
what?
she's gonna do what she needs to do. She's gonna go out there. Did you see the Onion article about
Yeah.
her?
Yes, the Onion article was great.
It was so good.
So
But I feel so okay. So can you give like a description of how this all works? Because I don't know. Like, so Saturday's what is
watch the last
Saturday
Olympics. Okay, Saturday starts the men's qualifying.
at 5 a.m.
If you get up at 5 a.m. to watch men's gymnastics, like, you're really committed. That's not on my to-do list, but the next day on Sunday, it's always Sunday, is the women's qualifying. So that is where we're going to see. And really the big drama on Sunday is who makes which all-around final and who makes which final. Also, you get which teams are going to make the team final. Barring disaster, the US, right, will make the team final, and it will be kind of who's going to join Simone in those team final, especially if they put both Suni and Jordan Childs up on all 4 events in prelims, and then they would have Hesley and Jade split the other events. So Hesley would do bars and beam, Jade would do vault and floor, and they would decide who makes, which final. And it's 2 per country. So for the all-around, it would be likely Simone, and then either Suni, who is defending all-around champion, or Jordan Childs. So they're typically, half the time, we have seen Jordan Weber not make the final when she was reigning world champion. All sorts of tears happened. So Sunday can be a dramatic day. Like, you don't want to sleep on the women's qualifying. It's your first look at the team. And last time we could tell, like, Simone wasn't so happy after the meet. She was not her usual self. We're going to see how Suni is looking, right? We haven't heard about any injuries or whatnot, but if there are something, we would hear about it on Sunday. Also, how they stack up with the rest of the world, who's going to make which final. That's a little dicey. I would look like, will Simone make finals on uneven bars? That's always kind of up in the air. And then the team final for the men is Monday, and for the women is Tuesday. And then it goes into the all-around finals after that, and then event finals. So
for the qualification, are the athletes going to, do they normally water it down on the qualification? Okay.
Can't water it down because you have to be one of the top 8 scores on each event if you want to make it.
Okay.
So they cannot water it down.
Okay.
You're not watering stuff down, okay? This
I don't
is
know.
more stressful than the team event in skating. Like,
I think it's more stressful than the team event in skating.
although the team event has become more important as we've moved on. And I'm not against the skating team event. Everybody gets very
No, I think it's great.
I think
And
it's great.
the CAS, I think they met yesterday.
They met yesterday about Canada's claim to a bronze medal. They have previously met to discuss Russia's take. I'm imagining they're deciding those cases all at the same time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're supposed to be giving the US the gold medal, if all of this happens, would be on August 7th. So they won't even know until about a week-ish whether or not they are actually going to the Olympics, which also stinks if you have your entire family on standby. Your whole family, well, they weren't able to go to the Olympics in China anyway, but they are like still waiting to see whether or not we get this moment. Like these people are really getting shortchanged by CAS and all of these things. But think about it, that's one medal, right? The team event is one set of medals. 23 Chinese swimmers tested positive for the same drug at the Tokyo Olympics. We didn't find out until April of this year. And 11 of those swimmers are competing at these Olympics. It is, fathomable that they should all be, especially if Valyeva got a 4-year ban for this drug. Why don't all 23 of those athletes have the same 4-year ban applied to them if they also tested positive for the same drug? That could mess up results at 2 Olympic Games.
So you know what I think about that? With that doping video you sent.
Oh, the Victor Conti.
The guy,
yes.
Victor Conti, at the end, I believe he said, there was one thing he said where it was like the IOC, WADA, all of it from like the top to the bottom, when they covered up those 5 tests.
In Seoul.
It just makes me think like they don't care. Like of course they're gonna cover up these 23 athletes. Like it's been something they've been doing for forever.
Yes. I mean, I definitely wonder what would have happened, like who leaked that Valyeva tested positive, right? How did that get out, right? Like, were they thinking about covering that up? Did someone know about massive Russian doping? So then they got wind of this and someone told someone and that's how that broke. I mean, you kind of have to like always wonder if that could have been suppressed in some way, because there have been other high-level athletes whose tests have been suppressed in the past. There were reports from '88, about Carl Lewis and other things like that. So you really do wonder, but you think about it, now that it's out, this is one case in figure skating, and think about how much it has messed up the sport for this many years. And the other thing I was thinking of is that, okay, when we moved from the 6-0 to the point system, are they not just like encouraging doping by evaluating points, and everybody's trying to set records now, and they compare it to swimming, right? Or to make it more objective. Well, everybody in the objective sports is doping, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
Swimming and track and field. So are they just inviting that into skating in the same way? It's dark.
I think it also makes me question how do they determine which doping allegations get covered up compared to others? Like, why was Valyeva's not covered up versus the Chinese swimmers, because if anything, I thought the Valyeva one was going to get definitely swept under the rug. Like, she was the superstar. Like, Russia was like height at their power at that point, like insane power in the ISU.
I think the theory is that China was about to host the Olympics the next year, so they didn't want the big scandal on the Olympic brand.
Okay.
But I definitely think it's a huge question mark on the Olympic brand going into these games, although with everything going on in politics in the US, no one's really been talking about it. Like bigger problems in the world. So I don't know, right? Like Valyeva, I think that was so shocking because that was a teenage girl, right?
Yeah.
Is it adult swimmers? Do people not care as much? I don't know, but it depends how NBC covers it next week.
I think it also was like, because you have to think of it, she was a child, and probably, involuntarily given substances by adults that let her down in the system. I think that's like definitely like a huge thing to keep in mind when you think of the Valieva situation, of how tragic that situation was, I guess, compared to the 23 adults willingly taking that substance to use, using that for their gain,
Okay, how do you feel about the quints discussion? Because listen, Ilia Malin's camp is not happy with what the quint is worth. Okay, because, and I do think that they have an argument where essentially, I think you see in sports, it's hard to market when one person wins all the time, right? Essentially, you either need a rivalry, like Nathan against Yuzu, to build excitement. The Battle of the Bryans, Meryl against Tessa against the French, right? Or you need, Mao against Yuna, Tara against Michelle, or you need someone to be setting records like Simone, right? Like you're going to watch the greatest of all time and they're going to set records. So I think they really want Ilia Malinin to be that person, right? And I think if you watch the ISU Congress, it's very clear that, there's a lot of discussion about him. So should they make the quints worth more points so that he can set records? At the end of the day, I think he's the only one that really can do quints. I mean, we saw the one boy from Russia was trying it and didn't even come close this week.
And weren't there rumors that he's like actually landed one too?
Yeah, the quinto for sure.
Yeah. It definitely is not, the base value is definitely not where it should be. And same, I would go with the same for the quad axle too. Like, I don't think the quad axle is the right base value.
Yeah.
I don't really find the quint is like something necessary that we really need to go for. I'm sure people will go for it. I mean, I guess it's pushing sport or pushing the athleticism of the sport, but then it's also increasing like the risk of injuries for all these people. And I'd rather just see them focus on, I'd rather see Ilia focus more on his performance, on his deportment than chasing, a 15-point element. But that 15-point element will probably get him more clicks, more publicity, more views, more deals, get him in the news more. So,
I mean, he can still get a record anyway. It's not going to be as many points as they want. But if he does do the quint, he'll be the record breaker who did the quint. And then they can write an article about how he's breaking records and the sport is working against him and he's fighting, and they can have that narrative going.
Yeah.
Right. So I think skating needs something at this point, and they need Ilia to definitely. I mean, Ilia will be the big star going into the Olympics at this point. I think after the Summer Games, we'll start to see the brands start looking at figure skating more. The pressure is on, he needs to deliver, and they kind of need him to win. But they also are not just awarding all of the points for him doing quints and things like that. I mean, the quinto and the quint lutz are going to be worth the same, which is ridiculous. But
I mean, do you think he'll actually go for it?
Like, I don't think these are Ilia problems, right? Like, these are not problems other people are really going to have. So we don't really see many over-rotated quad lutzes, but
no.
I think if Ilia wants to do a quinto, quintsal, more power to you. Like, he can do it at the beginning of his program and get as many points as he wants, right? But listen,
it'll be interesting to see him try it.
Do you think he will?
I don't know. I'm leaning more towards no, but I think he would try it in practice, and I think we would see a clip of it in practice. I think that's it.
I think he should
do it.
But they need NBC and US Figure Skating to know he's going to do it, to get him on the Today Show after he lands it, right? Like, they don't coordinate well, right? They didn't coordinate with him last year before Nationals to be the person that Ava and Lindsay on the news, right? They need to start having Ilia on the Today Show a lot. The same way they're clearly trying to get Chalk and Bates. Like, Chalk and Bates have talked now about the team medals. Chalk and Bates were in a lot of publications for their wedding. They need to start putting the same people there again and again and again and again and again, right? So, and if the US does get the gold medals, they need to put those athletes, and then they need actual, like, tell their stories, right? they need to really sell Alexa's health story and do an in-depth on that with Chalk and Bates, like all the members of that team, how Vincent had COVID, right? Like they need to really amp up the sob story, and they just haven't done it, right? And it seems half the time when Nathan gives interviews, it seems like he doesn't want to be there, right? Like he already has a gold medal, you know, another one's nice, but what does he care, right? So
Yeah.
need to get a little bit better, you know, having Hubble be more present and really sell some of this stuff. And I think as far as Ilia goes, I think he should do the Quinn. And I think that they should
I
have
think
this.
he'll probably push for it at some point. I personally
I
wouldn't
am.
advise him to do it.
Remember how I
But
am planted that story about Hubble and Papadakis, and they had Jordan took the video, and then Jordan's wife wrote the article. Like they had that all coordinated, right? Like
well,
when
they're
that
well-versed. That's a very well-versed PR machine. And I don't mean to be
well then
rude to
Ilya
Ari.
needs to be as you know.
Yeah, I don't think Ari is well-versed.
I think he's good at what he does, but we need to get more versed with him in TV and him in articles, and they need to
Yeah.
plan some of this. And I'm sure Anne's percentage's wife could work on an article about Ilya doing the quint, right? That we could place on the internet, ready to get clicks.
Maybe Jordan could go film it for him in
Jordan can film it.
practice.
Yeah, exactly. You're thinking
Yeah.
now, right? Like this is we need Nellie Biles on top of all of this.
That took us, what, 2 seconds to think about?
Yeah. We
Come on.
and we need to like not just have Ilya associated with Russians, right? Like we need to start making him seem American, right? And
Yeah.
plan this. So, I mean, it's interesting. If you pay attention, the crowds in Japan are not what they were.
They're
So
not.
it's no longer like you go to Japan and you become famous and make all this money. Like they were playing Jenga on ice in the ice this weekend. That was embarrassing. Okay. Like that was really not
They
a
need
good.
to get some more people involved with that too.
I know. What are they going to do with Yuzu and Shoma and
Now, Marin Honda.
listen? Don't you think Yuzu would love to do listen? Yuzu did. He recreated his warm up, right? Like this boy is ready to compete, right? And you know Nathan is not going to skate against him, right? I would want to see Yuzu go against Shoma. And then really like a pro-am where Yuzu went against Ilia, but like where they were gonna like actually have judges that judged components or things, like maybe rules that were more suited to.
Yeah.
You
We
have
need to see them back. And then we could do maybe a Shoma and Marin Honda show, like
Yeah,
like a little pairs program between the two.
listen, they need to get married and have a reality show on ice wedding. Okay. And all of the Hondas can be skating. So
Yes.
all right. What was your moment of the week this week?
I've seen Gia in both programs. I thought it was beautiful. I'm so excited for her, and I'm looking forward to the events that are coming up this week too. So
All right. You know what? I think Luca Broussard's quad toe gave me hope for the American men, because how long have we been like hoping that Torgashev could get it together, and the Camden still makes it, right? Tomoki is still relevant. We have not had anybody break through this like clump of Met. Jason Brown is still very, very relevant in the US.
number 2. Definitely still
Right?
number 2.
So it gave me hope. Like, and I think Luca needs it. I think he needs Tracy, but really Toshawa. I mean, just her presence. Starr needs lessons, but she needs Abby Lee Miller. Okay, we need to start getting these skaters. All right.
Yeah.
Well, look sexy, everyone.
Bye, guys.